Hello everyone, welcome to PW Gulf. So today we'll be doing the ultimate recap session for the chapter Simple Harmonic Motion. In today's class we'll be covering the following topics. What is simple harmonic motion? Representation of a simple harmonic motion by uniform circular motion. Then we will see different situations like simple pendulum, spring mass system. These are the systems which execute simple harmonic motion. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's start with the very first topic. Firstly, we should know what is periodic motion, what is an oscillatory motion. Okay, so what is a periodic motion? Any kind of motion which repeats itself after a certain interval, fixed certain interval of time, that is called periodic motion. Okay, it repeats itself over and over again and again after a fixed interval, that is called a periodic motion. Example can be rotation of earth, revolution of earth, all these are example. Rotation of earth, revolution of earth around the sun. Earth completes one rotation in 24 hours. Okay, and similarly it completes one revolution around the sun in 365 days. If we are very precise, that is 365.25 days. Okay, 1/4 also extra. So these all kinds of motion are periodic motion. That fixed interval is called the time period. Okay, that fixed interval, that is called the time period. Okay, now non-periodic motion which doesn't repeat itself. Okay, any kind of motion which doesn't repeat itself, that will be non-periodic. Non-periodic motion which doesn't repeat itself after a fixed interval. Okay, which doesn't repeats itself after a fixed interval. After a fixed interval. Okay, so any athlete running, okay, car moving on the road, it is not necessary that they will be repeating the motion after a fixed interval of time only. Okay, all these are non-periodic motions. Now let us see what is an oscillatory motion. If we move about a fixed point, okay, this is my fixed point, I go, let us take one step this side, then come back, then one step this side, then come back, one step this side, come back, one step, come back. Okay, I am moving about a fixed point like this is my position. I take one step and then come back. Okay, then take one step in this side, then come back. If I repeat it over and over again, okay, and the time is one cycle, okay, is same, then this motion is called oscillatory motion. Okay, so if a body moves back and forth repeatedly about a fixed point, that is called a oscillatory motion. Okay, this is my fixed point, I am going to some position like this and then coming back, then I'll go to the same distance in this direction, then come back. If I am moving about this fixed point repeatedly to and fro, this is called oscillatory motion. Okay, this is called oscillatory motion. Example of oscillatory motion is the simple pendulum. Take this pendulum to this extreme position, then leave it. It will go like this, come back, go to this position, then again come back. So this is a oscillatory motion. Okay, if oscillations are very fast, then these are called vibrations. Okay, if oscillations are a very small amplitude and a very high frequency, that are called vibration, just like vibrations in guitar strings. Okay, strings of a guitar, these are called oscillatory motion. Okay, example goes simple pendulum, spring mass, a mass attached with spring, this is in etc. are oscillatory motions. Let us see what is the difference between a periodic motion and an oscillatory motion. Okay, periodic motion is the one which repeats itself after a fixed interval of time. Okay, so periodic motion are basically of two types. One is simply periodic motions. Okay, periodic motions are basically of two types. One is which is simply periodic motion. Suppose we have a particle moving on a circle of radius r with a constant speed v. Okay, this is moving on this circle of radius r with the constant speed v, like this, uniform circular motion. Okay, uniform circular motion. Particle cover one revolution in fixed time, then the next revolution in same time, next revolution in same time, next. This is a periodic motion, but it is not moving to and fro or back and forth about a fixed point. This is not oscillatory. Okay, this is not oscillatory, but it is periodic. Okay, it is periodic. Similarly, if we have a ball and we throw it with u velocity, it goes up, okay, then it comes down, collides, then again goes up, again comes down, like this. So elastic collision with floor. If ball is doing elastic collision with floor, then the motion is also periodic motion, but these are not oscillatory. Okay, these are periodic but not oscillatory. Okay, these are periodic but not oscillatory. Okay, if we have a simple pendulum, or let us take a spring is attached to a mass m. Okay, if we stretch the spring up to some distance x, then a restoring force F is equal to kx. Okay, minus shows that it is opposite to x. Okay, restoring force will act on it and it will come back, then goes to this side, then comes back again. So it is doing oscillations about a fixed point. Next is the simple pendulum. Okay, move it to this point, it will go like this, then it will come back, then it will again go to the same position on the other side, then it will come back. Okay, so these are oscillatory. Okay, these are oscillatory. So if I have an ideal system, okay, if I have an ideal system, we will say that all no dissipative forces are present. Okay, if we have no dissipative forces, all oscillatory motion, okay, all oscillatory motion are periodic. Okay, all oscillatory motion are periodic, but all periodic motion are not oscillatory. Okay, these are periodic as well as oscillatory, or we will say these are oscillatory motion. These are oscillatory motion. Okay, sorry. So all oscillatory motion are periodic, but all periodic motion are not oscillatory. Okay, now let us see condition for oscillation. What is the condition for oscillation to occur? If I am crossing this position, I am going this side, then I have to come back. It means if I am crossing my mean position, some force must act which brings me back to this position. Okay, if I'm having velocity in this direction, unless and until a force is acting towards like this, I'll keep on moving in this direction. Yes, so a force must act which brings me back to this position, and similarly a force, if I go on this side, a force must act which brings me back to my position. Okay, so first condition is a restoring force must act. Okay, first condition is a restoring force must act. Okay, a restoring force must act on the system. Okay, which brings the system back to its original configuration. Now what can be this restoring force? Okay, this restoring force is equal to minus k into x raised to the power n. Okay, restoring force is proportional to, we will write it like this, restoring force is proportional to minus of x raised to the power n. F is equal to minus k into x raised to the power n, where n is an odd number. Okay, n must be an odd number. N cannot be an even number, n must be an odd number. Okay, n cannot be an even number, n must be an odd number. Let us say this is my position, x is equal to 0 is my mean position. Okay, the point about which oscillations are being done, that is called the mean position. So let us take, this is my mean position. If I go on this side, here x is positive. Okay, if x is positive, x raised to the power n will be positive. Yes, x raised to the power n can be a odd number, so n can be 1, 3, 5, 7 up till so on, like this. Okay, x raised to the power n will be positive number. Okay, so f will be equal to minus k into x raised to the power n, which is a negative number. Okay, so f will be negative. F will be negative. If f is my negative number, then in which direction f will act? F will act like this. Yes, so force is acting opposite to displacement. Force is acting opposite to displacement. It means force is trying to bring the body back to its mean position. If I go on this side, what will happen? Here x is negative. X is equal to 0 is this point. Here x is my negative, so x raised to the power n will also be negative. Okay, see, x is a negative number. Let us say minus 1 raised to the power 1 will be minus 1. Minus 1 raised to the power 3 will be again minus 1. Minus 1 raised to the power 5 will be again minus 1, because we have odd power. Okay, because we have odd power, so x raised to the power n will be negative. That is why we cannot have n as positive. If n is positive, then this will become positive, so force will act in the positive direction, sorry, negative direction only. Okay, so f will be equal to minus k into x raised to the power n. This will become a positive number, so f will be a positive number. That is why we cannot have n as positive, because if n is positive, then x raised to the power n will be positive and force will be negative. It means force will be in this direction, particle will keep on going in this direction, it will never come back. Okay, but if our n is negative, force will come out as positive. If force is positive, then force will act in the plus direction. So this is the direction of force. It means force is trying to bring the body back to its mean position. Hence these are the two conditions for oscillation. Okay, hence these are the two conditions for oscillation. Now simple harmonic motion. What are simple harmonic motion? If n is equal to 1, the simplest restoring force, okay, simplest restoring force, we will say that restoring force, if restoring force is proportional to minus x. Okay, restoring force is proportional to minus x. F is proportional to minus of x. We can write f as minus kx, where k is the proportionality constant. Okay, where k is the proportionality constant. If this condition is achieved, then such a motion is called simple harmonic motion. Okay, such a motion is called simple harmonic motion. Okay, such a motion is called simple harmonic motion. If this condition is present, okay, then we have the motion as simple harmonic motion. Okay, such a motion is called the simple harmonic motion. F is equal to minus kx, that is x raised to the power 1. Okay, this is my mean position. X is equal to 0, and here x will be positive. If x is positive, force will be negative. Here x is negative. If x is negative, force will be positive. So see, force is acting always opposite to the displacement. Okay, so negative sign shows that force is proportional to minus of displacement. Okay, why we take negative sign? To show that force is proportional to opposite. Okay, force is acting in the opposite direction as of displacement. If displacement is in positive, then force will be negative. If displacement is in negative, force will be in positive direction. Okay, so this is called a simple harmonic motion. Now firstly we will do some important terms. First term is the mean position. Okay, first term is the mean position. So the equilibrium position is called mean position, where F net acting on the particle becomes 0. Okay, the position where net force is 0. The position where net force acting on the particle becomes 0, equilibrium position, that is called stable equilibrium position. Basically, stable equilibrium position, this is called as the mean position. Okay, particle will do oscillations about this mean position. Now why stable equilibrium? In equilibrium chapter we have seen that, okay, in the topic equilibrium, if I disturb my particle a little bit from the equilibrium state, if it comes back to the original equilibrium state, then that is called a stable equilibrium. If the forces on disturbing the particle, the forces acting on the particle are such that they do not make the particle come back to its original shape or configuration or position, and they take it away from the equilibrium position, then such a equilibrium is called unstable equilibrium. We want that if we displace the particle from mean position, particle should come back to its mean position. Yes, then only we can have oscillations. So the stable equilibrium position, the stable equilibrium point is called the mean position. Okay, that is called the mean position. Now next is amplitude. Next is amplitude. What is amplitude? The maximum displacement done from the mean position in either direction is called the amplitude. Okay, maximum displacement of the particle, maximum displacement of the particle from mean position. Okay, from mean position in either direction. Okay, from mean position in either direction, in either direction is called amplitude. Okay, any one of the direction. So amplitude is denoted by capital A. If this is my x is equal to 0 is my mean position, then this is the position of maximum amplitude. On one side it will go to plus A, and on the other side it will go to minus a. Okay, maximum displacement we can do a on this side, a on this side. So maximum position it can be plus a and minus a. These are called extreme positions. Okay, these are called extreme positions. These are called extreme position. We have a positive extrema and a negative extrema. Extreme position. Okay, and this is our mean position. Okay, this is our mean position. This maximum displacement is our amplitude on either of the side. Okay, now next one more we have. Third one is the time period. Okay, third one is the time period. So what is the time period? Time taken to complete one oscillation. Okay, time taken to complete one oscillation. Okay, time taken to complete one full oscillation is called time period. Okay, this is called time period. So what will be my one oscillation? Okay, what will be my one oscillation? If I start from x is equal to 0, I'll go to x is equal to plus a, then I'll come back. So time period will be, if I start from here, then I go to this, then I come back. Yes, not one oscillation is not complete, because one oscillation is then completed when we start a new cycle which is exactly same. Okay, so if I go from this to this, I'm back at the mean position. Now if I am going, am I going again in this direction? No, I am doing different motion. Okay, I'll go to this and I come back to this. Now one oscillation will be completed. Okay, now I'll execute what I was doing from the starting, again go to this and this. This is one complete oscillation. Okay, this is one complete oscillation. And what will be a frequency? Number of oscillations done in unit time. Okay, frequency is denoted by f or nu, both. So we will have frequency is 1 by t. Number of oscillations we do in 1 second. Okay, and then we have a angular frequency also. Angular frequency will be omega. So omega is equal to 2 pi by t. Okay, how much phase will change in one time period? It will change by 2 pi. Okay, so omega will be 2 pi by t, or next is omega is equal to 2 pi into f. Okay, this is called the angular frequency. This is the angular frequency. Now let us do equation of simple harmonic motion. Okay, what is the equation for simple harmonic motion? F is equal to minus k into x. Okay, what is force? Force is mass into acceleration is minus kx. I can write acceleration as d square x by dt square, double differentiation of position, is equal to minus kx. So from here we get d2x by dt square is equal to minus k by m into x. Now substitute this k by m as omega square. Okay, substitute this k by m as omega square, we get d2x by dt square is equal to minus omega square x. Yes, so take it to another side, we will get d2x by dt square plus omega square x is equal to 0. This is called the equation of SHM. Okay, this is called the equation of simple harmonic motion. Okay, this is called the equation of simple harmonic motion. D square x by dt square plus omega square x is equal to 0. Okay, this is the same omega which we have done here, angular frequency. Okay, you will see that k by m is angular frequency. So this is called, now this is a differential equation. Yes, this is a differential equation. We have a solution to this differential equation. So what is the solution to this differential equation? Okay, so let us do it. Solution to this differential equation, solution of this differential equation. Now what is the solution to this differential equation? Because you guys don't know how to solve differential equation, I'll tell you that this is a solution. How we can check whether this is a solution to this differential equation or not? We will put it in the equation. If it satisfies, like left hand side is equal to right hand side, then we will get it as solution. Okay, so x is equal to a sine omega t. Okay, let us check whether x is equal to a sine omega t is a solution. Differentiate it once. Dx by dt will be a cos omega t into omega, and if I double differentiate it, it will become a cos differentiation is minus sine omega t, and further a omega as it is minus sine omega t into omega. Okay, so we will get it as minus a omega square sine omega t. Okay, now substitute it. Left hand side, what is my left hand side? D2x by dt square plus omega square x should be, this is my left hand side, which is equal to, substitute it, minus a omega square sine of omega t plus omega square into x is a sine omega t. This comes out at 0, which is equal to right hand side. Therefore x is equal to a sine omega t is a solution. Okay, therefore x is equal to a sine omega t is a solution. Now let us check whether a cos omega t is a solution. A cos omega t is a solution. Differentiate it. Dx by dt will be cos differentiation minus sine omega t, further omega. So differentiate it once more, we will get minus a omega as it is. Sine differentiation is cos omega t, again omega. Okay, this will be minus a omega square cos of omega t. Now let us check for left hand side. Left hand side will be d2x by dt square plus omega square x. Substitute it. Minus a omega square cos of omega t plus omega square into a cos of omega t. This will come out as 0, which is equal to right hand side. Hence both x is equal to a sine omega t as well as x is equal to a cos omega t are the solution to the equation. Okay, now both cannot be the solution. Yes, both cannot be the solutions to the equation. Yes, when we see a quadratic equation, we see two solutions. When we see a linear equation, we see one solution. So can both be the solution? Yes, of course, both are solution to this differential equation. Okay, this differential equation is having many solutions depending on omega. Okay, if I say x a cos 2t, a cos 3t, all these are solution. Okay, but when our system is doing a SHM, depending on the initial condition, there will be only one solution to a particular system. Okay, to a particular system we will have only one solution depending on our initial. Let us see what is the difference between two solutions. For x is equal to a sine omega t, at t is equal to 0, x will be a sine 0, so x will be 0. That is, at t is equal to, okay, at t is equal to 0, particle is at x is equal to 0. Okay, at t is equal to 0, particle is at x is equal to 0. Now let us see for a cos omega t. A cos omega t, at t is equal to 0, x will be a cos 0. So cos 0 is 1, x is equal to a. Okay, so at t is equal to 0, that is initial position, particle is at extreme position. Okay, that now if my particle starts the motion from mean position, solution is a sine omega t. If my particle starts the motion from extreme, positive extremum, then solution is a cos omega t. Okay, so particle can start from here also, here also, here also. Then depending on the initial condition of my particle, I will have many solutions. So we have find a general solution. Okay, we have found a general solution. See, this is the difference between the two solutions. Both are solution to this equation. We have both are solution to this equation, but depending on the initial condition, only one will be the solution to our equation. If the particle is starting from mean position, then a sine omega t will be the solution. If particle is starting from extreme, then a cos omega t will be the solution. Okay, now we have found a general solution. If particle starts from any x, okay, particle starts from any x between minus a to plus a, so the general solution is given by x is equal to a sine omega t plus phi. Okay, because we can write x is equal to a cos omega t as a sine of omega t plus pi by 2. What is sine pi by 2 plus theta? Second quadrant, sine is positive, so it will be plus cos theta. Okay, so we can write it like this. What if starts from here, 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 any point in between? So my general solution is given by x is equal to a sine omega t plus phi, where this is giving me the instantaneous position of the particle. Instantaneous position of the particle, that is position of the particle at any time t. Position of the particle at any time t. This is giving me amplitude. Okay, amplitude of oscillation. This is called the amplitude of oscillations, and this whole argument of sine, okay, whole argument of sine is called phase of the particle at any time t. Okay, phase of the particle at any time t. Now what phase tells us? Phase tells us the complete situation of the particle. What is my condition of the particle at any time t, whether it will be a by 2, a by root 3, okay, like this, any a by root 3, a by 2, root 3, all these values. Okay, it will be giving me the positioning of the particle, a by 4, a by 8, any position the particle could be at. Okay, so this will be telling the whole condition of the particle at any time t, and this phi is called the initial phase. Phi is called the initial phase because at t is equal to 0, what will be my x? at t is equal to 0, x will be equal to a sine phi. Okay, so this phi is telling me initial phase. Where is my particle at t is equal to 0? Whether it is at a by 2, whether it is root 3a by 2, a by 4, a by 8, any value, this will minus a by 2, minus root 3a by 2. Okay, all these values, this will tell me the initial conditioning of the particle. Okay, so phi will change accordingly where my particle is starting the motion from. Okay, so this is the general solution to the equation, differential equation of simple harmonic motion. Okay, so at any time t, position of my particle is given by x is equal to a sine omega t plus phi. Okay, so this is my position of the particle at any time t. Now if we take, if phi is equal to 0, then x will be equal to a sine omega t. Okay, how we will represent it? Represent with time, represent position with time. For phi is equal to 0. Okay, so this will be my position for phi is equal to 0 at x is equal to 0. It will be 0. Then at t by 4 it is at positive extremum. Then at t by 2 it comes to again mean. Then 3t by 4 it is at negative extreme, and again t it is again back to the mean position, starting a new cycle. Okay, so this is one complete time period. Okay, this is one complete time period. This is how we represent the position of the particle at any time t. This graph I have drawn for x is equal to 0 only. Okay, this graph is drawn for x is equal to 0, or not x is equal to 0, phi is equal to 0. I'm really sorry. This is particularly for phi is equal to 0, that my particle starts from x mean position. Okay, x is equal to 0, x is equal to plus a, x is equal to minus a. Now t is equal to 0, particle is here, t is equal to 1 by 4th of the time period. Okay, particle is here like this, then come back, again takes the same time to come back. So at t is equal to t by 2, half oscillation, half time period. Okay, see 1 by 4th oscillation, 1 by 4 time period, but if you see a by 2 it will not be t by 8. Okay, because in between this, see, this motion is symmetric to this motion. Okay, and this motion is symmetric to this motion. Okay, so half oscillation, these are exactly symmetric, that's why it takes half in this, half in this. Okay, here it will be again going like this, so t is equal to 3t by 4, then it comes back and again t is equal to t. One oscillation is complete and particle is back to its mean position. Okay, so because this half oscillation, this oscillation is just symmetric to this oscillation, so they take half of the time period. Okay, this part of the oscillation is symmetric to this part, so they take half of time, half of oscillation. This is symmetric to this, so they can take half of this t by 4. Okay, but if you see, this much and this much is not symmetric. Okay, up to a by 2, up to a by 2, and from a by 2 to a, this is not symmetric. Okay, velocity and acceleration, every point they are different. Okay, at each and every point they are different. Okay, so this is how my particle will proceed. Okay, now let us find the velocity of particle at any time t. Velocity is equal to dx by dt. X is equal to a sine omega t plus phi. So velocity will be equal to a sine differentiation is cos omega t plus phi. Further differentiation will give me omega. So velocity is equal to a omega cos of omega t plus phi. Okay, this is my velocity. Now cos can have a maximum value of +1. So what can be my maximum value of velocity? V maximum is equal to a omega. Okay, V maximum is equal to a omega. Okay, now if we draw the graph between velocity and time, okay, if we draw the graph between velocity and time, see at t is equal to 0, okay, if I take phi as 0, okay, if phi is taken as 0, then velocity will be a omega cos of omega t. Okay, so cos graph, this will be my graph of the velocity. Here this value will be plus a omega and this value will be minus a omega. Similarly in x, this value will be plus a and this value will be minus a. Okay, so particle at t is equal to 0, it is having maximum velocity, it is at the mean position. Okay, it will have maximum velocity, then t by 4 goes to extreme, momentarily comes to rest and then goes back, then t by 2 again mean, so it will have maximum velocity. But now as it completes the oscillation, here it was having this much a omega, now when it comes back it is having a omega in opposite direction, so minus a omega. Again it will come back, again it goes to negative extreme, momentarily comes to rest, velocity becomes 0, and then t we have the it at positive a omega only, and one oscillation is completed. Okay, one oscillation is completed. Now if we want to find the relation between x and x is equal to a sine omega t plus phi and velocity is equal to a omega cos of, so write x by a is equal to sine of omega t plus phi, velocity is equal to a omega cos of omega t plus phi. Okay, so v by a omega is equal to cos of omega t plus phi. Now square and add them both. Okay, do 1 square plus 2 square and add them, we get x square by a square plus v square by a square omega square is equal to 1. So this is a equation of ellipse. Okay, this is an equation of ellipse. If we draw the graph between x and v, we will get a ellipse. Okay, we will get a ellipse. Also from here we will see that v square by a square omega square is equal to 1 minus x square by a square, which is equal to, okay, so v square is equal to omega square into a square minus x square. We will get v is equal to omega under the root of a square minus x square. Okay, this gives me the relation between v and x. Okay, this gives me the relation between v and x. Okay, so particle is having maximum velocity at mean position and minimum 0 velocity at extreme position. Okay, now let us calculate the acceleration of particle. Acceleration is equal to dv by dt. We have done v as a omega cos of omega t plus phi, so my acceleration will be a omega as it is, differentiation of cos is minus sine omega t plus phi into omega, so we get acceleration as minus a omega square sine of omega t plus phi. Now we can write it as minus omega square into a sine of omega t plus phi, and this is x. So acceleration is minus omega square x. Okay, so this gives me acceleration at any time t, and this gives me relation of acceleration with x. Okay, so relation of acceleration with x is a straight line. Okay, this is a straight line. If you draw the graph between a and x, it will be a straight line like this, having a negative slope. Okay, so now if we take phi as 0, if phi is 0, then a will be equal to minus a omega square sine omega t. Okay, so draw the graph between acceleration and time. Okay, draw the graph between acceleration and time. It will also be a sine curve like this. This value will be, sorry, it is a opposite sine curve, negative sine curve like this. This value will be minus a omega square, and this value will be plus a omega square. At t is equal to 0, particle is at mean position, so having 0 acceleration, then t by 4 extreme maximum acceleration, t by 2, 3t by 4, and then again t1 oscillation is complete. If we see the value of maximum acceleration, okay, what will be my a maximum? A maximum will be a omega square. Okay, a maximum will be a omega square. Okay, this will be my maximum acceleration. Okay, this is a graph for acceleration versus time, and if we draw the same graph for acceleration versus x, it will be a straight line curve. Okay, it will be a straight line curve. At extreme positions, it is at maximum displacement, so it will have maximum acceleration. Okay, now let us draw it. So let us take at t is equal to 0. Okay, this is x is equal to 0, this is x is equal to a, and this is x is equal to minus a. Okay, so at t is equal to 0, particle is here, t is equal to t by 4, it goes to extremum, then t is equal to t by 2, comes back to mean, then again goes in this direction, t is equal to 3 by 3 t by 4, reaches negative extreme, then again at t is equal to t, it reaches mean position. Okay, now let us write velocity. Mean position, it is having maximum velocity. Okay, so here v is equal to a omega, here v will become 0, momentarily it comes to rest. Okay, then it will have velocity while coming back, now it is having velocity as minus a omega. Yes, it will have velocity as minus a omega when it goes in this direction. Again here it will have velocity as 0, then again it will have velocity as plus a omega. Now let us write for acceleration. Here acceleration is 0, let us write it here. Here acceleration is 0. As it reaches extreme position, acceleration will be minus omega square a, because here acceleration is in this direction. Okay, restoring force is in this direction, so acceleration is in this direction, that's why minus omega square a. Again as it comes back, acceleration becomes 0. Okay, now goes back to this, here acceleration will be plus omega square a, because it is in this direction. Again as it comes to mean, acceleration will become 0. Okay, so this is the whole position, velocity and acceleration's variation during one complete oscillation. Okay, this is during one complete oscillation. Now let us find energy of a particle in SHM. Particle possesses two types of energy, kinetic energy and potential energy. So kinetic energy of the particle is equal to half m v square. Okay, substitute it, we will get kinetic energy as half m. What is v? A square omega square cos of omega t plus phi. Okay, this will be my variation. Okay, this will be my variation with the time, and if I plot it, now, because it is kinetic energy and it is square of, sorry, cos square, and it is square of cos, how will my variation be? Negative cycle will also go on positive cycle. Okay, so it will be like this. Okay, it will be like this. Okay, t is equal to 0, mean position, maximum velocity. T is equal to t by 4, extreme position, 0 velocity, 0 kinetic energy. T is equal to t by 2. Okay, t is equal to t by 2, back to mean position, maximum velocity, v is equal to minus a omega, so maximum kinetic energy. T is equal to 3t by 4, again extreme position, 0 kinetic energy. T is equal to t, we will have again back to mean position, 1 kinetic. Now see, in one time period kinetic energy is doing 2 oscillations. Yes, in one time period kinetic energy is doing 2 complete oscillations. So frequency of kinetic energy is double and time period of kinetic energy is half. Okay, frequency of kinetic energy is double and time period is half. Next is our potential energy. Now potential energy for F is equal to minus kx. The potential energy comes out as U is equal to half k x square. If U is equal to half k x square, U will become half k. What is k? We substituted k by m as omega square. So k is equal to m omega square. Okay, k is equal to m omega square into, substitute x, a square sine square omega t plus phi. Okay, this is my kinetic energy with the time, and this is my potential energies variation with time. Okay, now draw its variation. Draw the variation of potential energy with time. Now see, at t is equal to 0, it is at mean position, no potential energy. Then t by 4, positive extremum, maximum potential energy. Then t by 2, back to mean, 0. Then 3t by 4, negative extreme, maximum. Then t again 0. Potential energy is also doing 2 oscillations in one time period, so time period is half and frequency is double. Okay, now let us find the values with x also. Kinetic energy is equal to half m v square, and we know that v square is equal to omega square into a square minus x square. So kinetic energy's variation with x will be half m omega square into a square minus x square. We know that half m omega square can be written as k, so half k into a square minus x square. This is the variation of kinetic energy with x. Okay, and if we want to find potential energy with x, it is directly half k x square or half m omega square x square. Okay, now draw the graph. Okay, if we want to draw the energy, okay, if we want to draw the energy, what will be my graph of potential energy? It is parabola. So potential energies curve will be like this, it will be a parabola. Okay, potential energy curve will be like this, it will be a parabola. Let us draw it. Okay, this is my potential energy. Now see, what is kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is also a parabola proportional to x square, but an opposite, inverted parabola. Okay, so kinetic energy's graph is like this. This is kinetic energy, mean position, it is maximum. Okay, mean position, it is maximum half k a square. Okay, this value will be equal to half k a square, and then potential energy 0 at mean position, maximum at extreme position. So what is happening, as we go from mean to extreme, kinetic kinetic decreases, potential increases. Okay, again as we go from extreme to mean, potential decreases, kinetic increases. There's an interchange between the two. Now let us find the total energy. Total energy is equal to sum of kinetic plus potential. So total energy will be equal to half k a square minus x square plus half k x square. This half k x square gets cancelled. So total energy is half k a square, which is always a constant. Okay, so total energy is always constant. Total energy is neither dependent on position nor time. Total energy is always constant. Okay, total energy is always constant. So this is my graph for total energy. Okay, this is my graph for total energy. Blue line is for total energy, which remains constant throughout the motion. Okay, which remains constant throughout the motion. So this is my kinetic, potential and total energy of a particle in SHM, and how they get converted one form to another as the particle moves from mean to extreme, extreme to mean, then negative extreme, then back to mean in one oscillation. Okay, now let us move forward. Representation of SHM by uniform circular motion. Okay, we can represent a particle's SHM by uniform circular motion. Okay, sorry. Okay, we can represent the particle's motion as SHM. We can represent the SHM as a particle which is executing uniform circular motion. Okay, now see, if a particle is doing uniform circular motion, it is moving with angular speed omega. Okay, it is moving with angular speed omega. Let us take that radius of my circle. Okay, radius of my circle is a. Then this projection on this axis will be equal to, if particle at t is equal to 0, let us take t is equal to 0, particle was here, at any time t particle is here, this angle will be, angle covered in time t will be omega t if it is moving with angular speed omega. So this distance will be a cos omega t. This distance will be a cos omega t. Similarly, this distance will be a sin omega t. This distance will be a sin omega t. So what we can see is the projection of radius vector is giving me a cos omega t, a sin omega t. These are the instantaneous position of the particle. Yes, these are the instantaneous position of the particle doing SHM. So if we represent radius of circular path, radius of circle is equal to amplitude of oscillation. Okay, if we draw a circle having radius equal to amplitude of oscillations, angle made by radius with horizontal axis, this gives me phase of the particle at any time t. Phase of the particle, or let us say phase at any time t. Phase at any time t. Okay, whose phase? With the particle which is doing oscillations. Okay, then projection of radius on vertical axis gives me projection of radius on vertical axis. Projection of radius on vertical axis gives me instantaneous position of the particle. Okay, then it's projection on vertical axis gives me instantaneous position of the particle. This is how we represent SHM by uniform circular motion. Okay, uniform circular motion. Now if we are to represent, let us take x is equal to a sine omega t plus phi, then t is equal to 0, x is equal to a sine phi. Okay, so how I will represent this motion? Draw a circle. Okay, draw a circle. See, at t is equal to 0, particle is at some angle phi. Yes, at t is equal to 0, particle is at some angle phi, like this. Okay, particle will be at some x. Yes, this will be x naught, initial position where particle is starting. Okay, this will be a sine phi, initial position of the particle. Yes, this will be a sine phi, this will be a initial position of the particle. So t is equal to 0, particle is here, this is a. Now if at any time t the particle is here, okay, then in this time t it will traverse how much angle? It will further cover an angle of omega t. Now see the projection. Okay, see the projection on vertical axis. This projection on vertical axis, this. This is equal to a sine omega t plus phi. Okay, this projection on vertical axis is equal to a sine omega t plus phi, because total angle, this total angle will be omega t plus phi. So projection will be a sine omega t plus phi. This is how we can represent any SHM by uniform circular motion. Okay, now see, at t is equal to 0, particle is moving with angular speed omega. So first quadrant, okay, x is equal to 0, x is equal to a, and let us represent it over here only. Okay, this is the mean position, x is equal to 0, or let us take y, because we are taking y is equal to 0, y is equal to a, y is equal to minus a. Okay, particle starts from here. Okay, particle starts from here, then first quadrant, particle goes from mean. Okay, see, if particle is here, projection is 0, y will be 0. Okay, so in first quadrant, particle goes from 0 to plus a. Here my y will be, see, what is the projection if particle is here? What is y? Y at any time t is giving me the position. If my particle is here, y is 0. If my particle is here, y is equal to plus a. Here it will be y is equal to 0. Again here it will be y component will be 0. Again here y will be minus a. So as my particle is moving, so this will represent my first quadrant, 0 to plus a. Okay, if particle is going from 0 to plus a, it will be at any angle in first quadrant. If it is coming back from a to 0, it will be at any angle in second quadrant. 0 to minus a. Okay, 0 to minus a, third quadrant, and minus a to omega, 0, it will be fourth quadrant. Okay, this is how we represent our particle in any of the four quadrants while it is doing SHM. Okay, so this is how we represent it by circular motion. Now let us come to simple pendulum. What is simple pendulum? If we suspend a bob of mass m and length of the string is L, okay, then we stretch it to some angle theta and leave it here. Draw the forces acting on it. Okay, if this angle is theta, there will be a tension in the string and a force mg will be acting. Okay, if we extend it, this angle will also be theta. We will get here mg cos theta which will be balancing out the tension, and we get mg sin theta like this. So this is my restoring force, making the particle move back to its mean position. Okay, so these are my extreme position, this is my mean position, this is my mean position, equilibrium point. Okay, now what is the time period of such a simple pendulum? Time period of simple pendulum is 2 pi under root L by G. Okay, how we can find it? We can find this time period by equating the restoring force as, we will find the restoring force. Restoring force in this case will be minus mg sin theta. Okay, this is a restoring torque we have to find. We will write it as minus mg sin theta. Okay, torque can be written as I alpha, so this will be a case of rotational or angular SHM. Okay, this will be a case of angular SHM. So time period of a simple pendulum is 2 pi under root L by G, which is very, very important. We see that time period is proportional to under root L and time period is inversely proportional to under root G. Okay, now if my pendulum is taken in an accelerating frame sorry, if pendulum is present in an accelerating frame. Okay, if pendulum is present in an accelerating frame, then find G effective. Okay, then find then find G effective. Okay, then find G effective, just like if pendulum is hung in a lift which is accelerating, upward. Okay, so it is accelerating upward with acceleration a. So one mg will be acting and one pseudo force ma will be acting. So in this case g effective is equal to g plus a. Okay, take it to this angle, then you will see mg is acting and ma is acting, so restoring force will be due to both. Okay, so we will have it as g effective will be g plus a. So in this case time period will be 2 pi under root of L by G effective. Okay, time period will be 2 pi under root of L by G effective. This is simple pendulum. Okay, now let us do spring block system. So if we have a spring of spring constant K which is attached to a block of mass m, and this is my mean position. Okay, this is my mean position. Now if I stretch this block to a distance x, okay, if I give it a displacement of x, what will happen? A force, restoring force F is equal to minus kx will act on it, which will try to restore the position. Okay, so in this case time period will be equal to 2 pi under root. Okay, now we saw that omega is equal to under root of k by m, so time period will be equal to 2 pi under root m by k. Okay, where k is the spring constant. Okay, see in this case force is just same as basic force of SHM only. In time period we have to, in simple pendulum we have to see whether this is a simple harmonic motion or not, whether the force is directly proportional to minus displacement raised to the power 1 or not. Okay, in this case restoring force is minus kx only, so its omega square will be k by m only. Okay, so time period is 2 pi under root m by k only. Okay, now this is my equilibrium position. If I have vertical pendulum, okay, if I have vertical pendulum, this is my natural, vertical spring mass system, this is my spring with natural length, then this will be a equilibrium position. Okay, this is my equilibrium position. Equilibrium position will change. Okay, now this is the equilibrium position. It will do oscillations about this equilibrium position. Okay, it will do oscillations about this equilibrium position. In vertical equilibrium position changes but time period remains the same. Okay, equilibrium position changes, this what will be mg is equal to kx naught will be my equilibrium position. Okay, mg is equal to kx naught will be my equilibrium position, but time period will be 2 pi under root m by k only. Okay, time period will be same. Okay, t will be same, but it will do oscillations about this equilibrium position. Okay, now it is will not do oscillations about this natural length, it will do oscillations about this equilibrium position. Okay, now we have combination of springs, series combination. In series combination like this, suppose if two springs, one is of spring constant k1, other is of spring constant k2, are joined in series, then 1 by k equivalent is equal to 1 by k1 plus 1 by k2. This is my k equivalent in series combination. So k equivalent will be equal to k1 into k2 divided by k1 plus k2, and time period will be 2 pi under root m by k equivalent. Okay, time period will be 2 pi under root m by k equivalent. This will be my time period. So in this particular case, time period will be 2 pi under root m into k equivalent. So m into m by k equivalent, m into k1 plus k2 divided by k1 into k2. This will be my time period. Okay, this is my time period. Now let us do the parallel combination. So in parallel combination, we have a block of mass m and two springs are joined like this, k1 and k2 in parallel combination. So in this case, k equivalent is k1 plus k2. Okay, in this case k equivalent is k1 plus k2. You have to remember the k equivalent for series as well as parallel combination. So time period will be 2 pi under root m divided by k1 plus k2. Okay, this will be my time period for series and parallel combination of springs. Okay, now in series, extension will be different but tension will be same. Okay, in parallel, extension is same but tension will be different. Okay, restoring force in each string will be different, but extension, the displacement will be same. And in this case, displacement in each spring, okay, extension in each spring is different, but restoring force, the tension in the spring will be same. Okay, in both the spring. So this is all about the chapter simple harmonic motion. I hope you enjoyed this revision ultimate recap session. Okay, and it was very useful for you. So take care, keep studying, keep rocking. Bye bye.